The world's on fire. You feel it. The slow rot of comfort. The lies they sold you: safety, stability, someday. Wake up. You're not a victim. You're a weapon. And sheets decay faster than steel. This is how Zetas sharpen. No warnings, no mercy. Ever. Those who don't know, Zetas are the aggressive darker shadow of Sigma. We here will discuss 10 more psychological and philosophical traits of Zeta. Subscribe if you're interested in different psychological and philosophical thought process of different archetypes. Let's start with the light of Stoicism. You embrace the dark. What happens when you stop running from your darkness? When you turn and face what everyone else pretends doesn't exist? Most men spend their lives fleeing from their shadow. They suppress their anger, deny their selfishness, hide their hunger for power. But you've learned that integration beats suppression every single time. The parts of yourself that others call dark are simply raw materials waiting to be forged. Zetas embrace the totality of their nature instinctively, not because they're evil, but because they understand that denying half of yourself makes you half a person. Your capacity for destruction is exactly what gives your creation meaning. Your ability to be ruthless is what makes your compassion genuine. Carl Jung discovered that what we resist persists. The shadow we refuse to acknowledge doesn't disappear. It grows stronger in the darkness of our denial. You've done the opposite. You've turned on the lights and made friends with your demons. Research on emotional suppression by James Gross in 1998 revealed that people who constantly suppress negative emotions experience increased physiological stress and decreased social connection. While others exhaust themselves fighting their nature, you harness it. The light seekers preach positivity while bleeding negativity. You acknowledge your darkness and transform it into fuel. You don't escape reality, you sharpen your edge inside it. The integrated man is dangerous precisely because he's honest about what he contains. You don't wait for permission. Have you ever wondered why some men move like predators while others hesitate like prey? Why certain individuals seem to operate from a different rulebook entirely? Most men wait. They wait for approval, for the right moment, for someone to tell them it's okay to act. But you're wired differently. You don't seek permission because you understand something fundamental. The world doesn't owe you clarity, and hesitation is just fear wearing a suit. Zetas operate from internal compulsion, not external validation. When others debate whether they should start that business, you're already 3 moves deep into execution. When they wonder if they're qualified enough, you're learning through action. This isn't recklessness, it's instinctive wisdom. Friedrich Nietzsche understood this primal drive when he spoke of the will to power. It's not about dominating others. It's about refusing to be dominated by your own doubts. You move because movement is life, and stillness is just another word for death. The psychological research on self-efficacy by Albert Bandura in 1977 revealed that people who believe in their ability to execute actions are more likely to persist through obstacles. But for Zetas, this goes deeper. You don't just believe you can act, you're compelled to act. It's not confidence, it's an internal engine that doesn't ask for fuel, it creates it. 2020 Caltech neuroscience found something brutal. Overanalysis shrinks your amygdala, the brain's courage center. Hesitation isn't caution, it's self-erasure. Zetas know this. Their decisions aren't reckless, they're inevitable, like an arrow released from the bow. While others analyze paralysis, you sharpen your edge through motion. The problem isn't the obstacle, the problem is treating obstacles like permanent walls instead of temporary resistance. You build while others break. Ever notice how some people become stronger in chaos while others crumble at the first sign of pressure? What separates the builders from the breakers? When the world falls apart, most men fall apart with it. They blame the economy, the system, their circumstances. But you see breakdown as raw material. Destruction is just construction wearing a mask. While they're busy pointing fingers at what's broken, you're already designing what comes next. Zetas build instinctively, not because someone taught them, but because creation is their natural response to chaos. When others see obstacles, you see blueprints. When they see problems, you see projects waiting to be solved. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, wars, and betrayals, yet he built one of history's most enduring philosophical legacies. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't motivational fluff. It's operational reality for the Zeta mind. Research on post-traumatic growth by Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun in 1996 found that individuals who experience significant adversity often develop enhanced capabilities and deeper wisdom. But most people need trauma to grow. You use everyday friction as fuel. You cry over spilled milk, Seneca scoffed. But what if the universe demanded your blood? Modern studies prove it. 2017 Harvard Resilience research showed that those who accept suffering recover 300% faster. Fighting reality is a war you lose by fighting. While others escape into distractions, you sharpen your focus. While they consume content, you create solutions. The builder doesn't wait for perfect conditions. He creates them through relentless construction. You hunt truth, not comfort. Why do most people choose the comfortable lie over the uncomfortable truth? What makes you different from those who prefer sweet delusions? They want to feel good. You want to be real. Most men are addicted to comfort, but comfort is just another prison with better decorations. While they're scrolling through highlight reels and motivational quotes, you're digging into the raw mechanics of how things actually work. Zetas see that herd mentality for what it is, a blanket of mindless obedience that suffocates individual power. Studies on conformity by Ash, 1956, discovered how easy it is to abandon your own judgment just to blend in. Yet Zetas refuse that surrender. They carve their own path even if every chant around them echoes in the opposite direction. Stoicism teaches that the only thing you truly control is your own mind, and Nietzsche's will to power demands you rise above the pack. He watches the masses move in lockstep, then steps aside, forging momentum from solitude. Blind allegiance is poison. Discerning your own values, then acting on them, is the true act of defiance. Zetas hunt truth instinctively, not because it feels good, but because falsehood is weakness disguised as protection. When someone tells you what you want to hear, your internal radar goes off. When they tell you what you need to hear, you lean in. Arthur Schopenhauer said, "All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. Third, it is accepted as being self-evident." You operate at stage 3 while others are still stuck in stage 1, preferring their comfortable fantasies. The confirmation bias studies by Peter Wason in 1960 showed that people actively seek information that confirms their existing beliefs, but you're wired backwards. You seek information that challenges your assumptions. This makes you dangerous to those who profit from ignorance. While others collect opinions like trophies, you collect facts like weapons. You don't argue to win. You investigate to understand. The truth hunter doesn't fear being wrong, he fears staying wrong. You execute in silence. Have you ever wondered why the loudest people accomplish the least? Why those who talk the most seem to move the slowest? They announce their intentions like they're seeking applause. You execute in darkness because noise is the enemy of focus. While they're broadcasting their plans on social media, you're already 3 steps into implementation. Talk is cheap, silence is priceless. Zetas operate in stealth mode instinctively, not because they're secretive but because premature disclosure kills momentum. When you tell people what you're building before it's built, you invite interference, doubt, and energy drain from those who haven't earned access to your vision. Sun Tzu understood this principle deeply. All warfare is based on deception. But this isn't about deceiving others. It's about protecting your creative process from the vampiric energy of premature exposure. Your silence isn't hiding. It's incubating. Studies on implementation intentions by Peter Gallwitzer in 1999 found that people who shared their goals were less likely to achieve them because announcing created a false sense of accomplishment. You already know this instinctively. Progress dies when it becomes performance. While others seek validation through announcements, you seek results through action. You don't need an audience to perform, you need isolation to execute. The silent executor moves like smoke. By the time they see you, you're already gone. Inner compass. Do you ever feel your purpose slip like sand through clenched fists? Zetas don't chase trends. They navigate by an internal star. External noise is treated as static, not guidance. Studies on goal alignment by Emmons, 2003, found that people whose actions mirror their core values report deeper fulfillment, while those driven by external rewards spiral in emptiness. He charts his course by conviction alone, immune to applause or censure. Noise around him is a backdrop, not a conductor. Stoicism teaches us that true north lies in virtue. Nietzsche's Übermensch rejects herd ideals to craft personal meaning. Sun Tzu urged knowing terrain before battle. He knows his values like an old map. Every choice aligns with that terrain. Drifting without bearings invites chaos, wasted time, regret. You feel that urge to follow every flashing signpost. Will you instead turn inward, ask what your silent compass points to, and walk that line even if the world pulls you off course? Emotional sovereignty. Do you ever watch your thoughts spiral, craving calm that never comes, while Zetas stand anchored in a storm of feeling? Zetas don't let emotion hijack them, they dismantle chaos with clarity. Research on emotional intelligence by Goleman, 1995, discovered that self-awareness and self-regulation predict leadership more than IQ. Zetas master their inner climate, turning turbulence into wind at their backs. He senses anger or doubt, greets it like an old soldier, then redirects that charge into focus. Stoicism urges us to distinguish what we control, our judgments, from what we don't. Sun Tzu insisted that winning battles begins within. Nietzsche's call to self-overcoming echoes here. Every surge of fear becomes fuel. Jung found that naming a feeling strips it of tyranny. Zetas don't deny shadow, they invite it to the table, then show it the door. They train their minds like warriors honing blades. Morning reflection isn't a checklist, it's a ritual of sovereignty. Splintered attention is poison, scattered will is meaningless. You feel your heart race. Will you learn to ride that pulse or keep drowning in it? Ever notice how the richest men plant trees they'll never sit under? How true power accumulates slowly while fake power burns bright and dies fast. They want instant gratification. You want lasting impact. Most men think in quarters, you think in decades. While they're chasing quick wins and immediate validation, you're laying foundations that will outlive you. Your moves today are chess pieces positioned for games that won't end until years from now. Beggars get money every hour, workers get money every day, employees get money every month, businessmen get money every year. You got the idea. Zetas think beyond the now, short-sighted gains bore them. Studies on legacy planning by Ketz de Vries, 2004, found that purpose beyond self cultivates resilience and sustained impact. He models actions against a future he may never see. Nietzsche's Übermensch strives for creations that outlive mortality. Sun Tzu advised planning campaigns years ahead. He plants seeds in seasons he won't harvest. Zetas play long games instinctively, not because someone taught them patience, but because they understand that real power compounds over time. Every skill you build, every relationship you nurture, every system you create becomes interest on the investment of your focused attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." But he also understood that the present moment is meaningless without context of the eternal. You act in the now while building for the forever. This dual consciousness separates you from both the mindless hedonists and the paralyzed planners. Research on temporal discounting by Walter Mischel in the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment showed that children who could delay gratification achieved better life outcomes. Stoicism teaches that forethought steadies the soul. Sun Tzu said every battle is won before it's fought. Nietzsche's will to power demands anticipation of every twist. Jung found that unconscious pattern seeking reveals hidden truths. Reactive decision-making is poison, leaving you trailing behind events rather than steering them. Zetas harness that pattern recognition instinct and train it like a blade, slicing through uncertainty. You transform pain into power. Why do some men break under pressure while others forge themselves into something harder? What separates those who collapse from those who crystallize? They run from pain like it's poison. You consume it like medicine. Most men see suffering as punishment. You see it as raw material for transformation. Zetas alchemize pain instinctively, not because they enjoy suffering, but because they refuse to waste the education it provides. When life breaks you down, you don't just rebuild, you upgrade. You emerge from every trial carrying something you didn't have before. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." But he missed the deeper truth. It's not just that you survive the damage, you metabolize it. You turn trauma into technique, setbacks into strategy, scars into strength. Research on stress inoculation by Salvatore Maddi found that individuals who faced moderate adversity developed greater resilience than those who experienced either no stress or overwhelming trauma. You've learned to calibrate your exposure, seeking just enough friction to stay sharp. While others medicate their pain away, you interrogate it for lessons. While they seek comfort, you seek growth. The pain transformer doesn't avoid the fire, he dances with it until it teaches him something new. What happens when you stop asking permission and start writing your own operating manual? When you realize that every rule was made by someone who decided to stop following someone else's? Most men live inside systems designed by people who never asked their permission either. While they debate which path to choose, you're cutting new trails through unmarked territory. Zetas create frameworks instinctively, not because they're rebellious, but because they understand that following someone else's blueprint limits you to someone else's vision. You don't break rules to be destructive, you transcend them to be creative. Zetas wield influence like a shadow dagger, flashy tactics are hollow. Studies on charisma by Riggio, 1986, discovered that subtle presence often outlasts loud rhetoric. Zetas exude confidence without a shout. He listens more than he speaks, then unleashes words that land like stones in still water. Robert Greene found that mastering mystery amplifies authority. Nietzsche urged creating appeal through authenticity. Machiavelli understood this when he wrote, "Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Love is an illusion, it vanishes without refill. Fear and respect is a far better choice." Studies on moral development by Lawrence Kohlberg identified stages where individuals move from rule-following to principle-based thinking. Most people plateau at convention. You operate from conviction. Your ethics aren't borrowed, they're forged through experience and tested by fire. While others seek approval from authorities they've never questioned, you become your own authority through earned wisdom. The rule creator doesn't reject all structure, he builds better architecture. Thanks for watching. If you want to level up in life, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down your thoughts on this. We will pin the most inspiring one.